Capricorn. Happy July. I hope you're doing well. Okay. All right. You guys have, I think you may need to have more faith in yourself. I think that in trying to please everyone, you're miserable. Okay. I think your message is coming in. We're a little bit, I think you may be trying to do something, but you may also be making excuses for why you can't do it. I think that you're trying to do something and I think you keep hitting roadblocks. So I think you're trying to break out of something. You're trying to do something different and I think you're hitting resistance and I think you're kind of giving up, right? And I think that somehow that's become like a fail-safe for you to just give up, right? Give up on your dreams. It's just easier than fighting the fight, right? You're being really told here that you know, we I think you've got to let something go, decide you're going to do it, choose it, and then do it. Because I think what's happening here is you're not quite sure. I can't tell honestly if you're trying to break a pattern here, but you're feeling guilty about, you may be going to do something else and having to leave someone behind or leave some things behind. But either way, I think you're weighed down by something, and I'm not sure if it's of your making, if it's of some kind of background. Or let's go through the cards first, because what's happening here is you're supposed to make a choice here for yourself and then you're supposed to do it. They were real adamant about that. It's make a choice and then do it, right? Every choice has a trade-off too, right? Like if you want to do something else, maybe you've got to take less pay and go back to school. There's always a trade-off in something, right? So I think here it's funny too, because you have one of the cards that you're supposed to fill in. It's not even showing me what it is because you're supposed to decide this. When this happens, in and of your choice is what sets you free here, but it needs to be your choice, right? So there's no wrong choice here. It just needs to be you making the choice, because I think you may make a choice and then go back on it, make a choice and then go back on it, and then blame something, right, for you not being able to get out of the gate when in fact you gave up on yourself. I think that's where it's kind of going. But let's see here. Okay. All right. We come in with the energy of the King of Swords. Okay. That energy too coming in that's very militant energy. That's energy of knowing what you need to do, knowing that you can do it, and getting the plan in place to do it, and not skipping a beat. This is not someone who would, and I'm going to tell you what I think might be happening here. This was very similar. If you've got Libra anywhere in your chart, check that out, because it's the same kind of feeling, just a different message. Okay, you've got coming in as the situation that this focals around, you've got the Knight of Wands. Okay, you've got the Hierophant, and you've got the Seven of Coins. Okay, there's divine guidance behind this card. So if you're trying to do something and you keep hitting resistance, there's timing in this that's playing a role here. Okay, and it could be a maturity kind of, and I don't say that in a disrespectful way, but sometimes we keep hitting resistance because there's something more that we're supposed to gain where we're currently at to free that up so that we have sustainability, right? Because your advice coming in here is the Chariot, which is maturity, right? and you've got the blank card, right? Which means that you are supposed to fill in this movement here. This is the other part of um, your advice in here. You've got to fill that in. So what I think is happening here is I think you may think you're not good enough to do something, so you stop trying. And you've got the weight of whatever it is on you, be it generational, family way of doing things, religion, culture. Something is weighing you down here, but it's old. And you're buying into it because you may not have support system. You may just not have a good support system. So every time you try to go forward or step outside of this box, they suck you back in. That can happen sometimes, right? And now your outbound card here is the Four of Wands. You're looking for structure. This card comes in after something's been really hard to do, right? After you're trying to get some footing under you, some security in your life, some stability is what you're looking for here, right? And that card is telling you it's the start of that. So you having to fill in the missing blank of what your advice is to do here. The Chariot card is a card of letting old ways of doing things go. Instant gratification, right? Quick fix schemes. The Knight of Wands here, who comes in as part of the situation here, he's, constantly looking for the next shiny thing. He's got no drop spot and he doesn't slow down. What propels him forward and what propels him in consistent movement is excitement, right? There's no grounding spot there though. It's not grounded in anything. There's no plan. There's no long thought out plan, right? He's looking for a good time in whatever it is. There's maturity that needs to be had in this card, and I think you may be missing something in this equation, which is why you keep getting pulled back in. You may just not have yet the emotional maturity maybe to sustain what it is that you want to go, how you want to do something. You may need to get more something in whatever this is that you're trying to do. You've also got the Hierophant card here, okay, which is again, it's breaking tradition. It's not reinventing the wheel, but doing something in your own way, right? Like the debate sometimes over religion and spirituality, right? You need religion, not man-made religion, right? You need religion. It has to do with spirituality too. I'm not talking a literal. I don't even want to open this can of worms. But since that card came up and I feel this weight on you, I think you may be held back by people telling you that things need to be done a certain way, right? And you've got the Seven of Coins here, which is a card that tells you that sevens are about reorganizing things, right? Reorganizing your resources. Seven is a divine number. It's also the number of, this month. It's about partnerships and how you show up, and it's the seventh house, partnerships, right? What role do you play in this? And the growth from that is in spirituality, right? It's in having enough faith and trust in yourself and not getting lost in relationships of all forms, right? It's kind of like the stuff that we learn as kids. We don't believe those things still. We don't still believe all those things when we're adults. We go out and we carve out our own way. We carve out our own belief systems, but we still have the core of that in us, but we shape it in a way that is now that works for us, right? A more updated version of it. So I have a feeling here that you may be held back by something family tradition. Again, this reading is really steeped in you trying to go in a different direction, but being pulled back in. Given that you're missing a card next to the Chariot card, the Chariot card is a card of movement. It's a success card in all that you do, but it's when you've left the immature parts of yourself be gone, right? Like you're looking for plans, sustainability, a future that is, you know, you've set the paid work in motion here. It's not just let me try this, let me go try this, and then the next shiny thing, let me go try this. There's no staying power with him. What the lesson is with this is that there's as much excitement in where you drop anchor as in you're looking for stuff all over the place, when in fact you need to get a plan together and you need to choose what you want, and then you need to lay the groundwork for making it happen. There's no do it quick here. You know what I mean? It's taking what you know from where you are and moving it forward, right? I think you may still not know what that is. And I think that because let me tell you, when you want something, when we want something and we're working towards something, if our desire is not aligned with it, we'll never get out of the gate, ever. If there is something where your desire is lined up, and how you know that it's lined up is if you'll move a mountain for it. And no matter how many pitfalls you hit, you'll just keep going and going and going until you find an open road. But if you're not willing to do that and you're falling back in the victim role, so to speak, as in the, oh, I'll just never get out of here, it's not meant to be, you're selling yourself short, because the foundation, the stability, the freedom that you want is sitting right here. But this card comes after a whooping. It really comes after what's sitting here. But only you know what that is. And I don't think you really know what that is yet. I think you know, you just want to, you're not fulfilled where you are. That's why you keep running around looking for different things to fulfill you. But you're not going to find what that is unless you really think about it and then choose to do it. And then make sure that you've got a plan in place and that you would do anything to do it. Otherwise, you'll never get out of the gate here. This is a major arcana card. It's showing up in your advice situation, right? In your advice environment. You've got the Hierophant as the situation, right? Which asks you, what are your principles in here, right? What we're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but we're trying to carve it to fit our life, right? So the Chariot is asking you, what is that? There's divine guidance in that Seven of Coins. So something's working behind the scenes here for you. So you're going to want to maybe ask for guidance, divine guidance, and then listen to it. Okay? I think really what you're being torn between here, seriously, is I think you're having a hard time getting in touch with your emotions. I think or vice versa, one of the two. Either way, your emotions are not aligned with your thinking, and your emotions are not in alignment. They're at a total mismatch, and that's why you're not getting out of the gate here. I feel that very strongly. You've got to have you're going to have to think with your heart is what you're going to have to do. What is really passionate to you that you really want to do? You've got to ask yourself that question, and then you've got to repeatedly you've got to go for it here. I think there's travel here. I think there is travel here for you somewhere. I think you want to go somewhere. I think you want to do something new. I think you may just not know exactly what that is yet. But until you get a concrete choice that that's what you want to do, it's not going to come together here. So the card here, you've got a major arcana card sitting next to a clean slate. What is it that you want to do? What would you move a mountain for, and what are you passionate about? Right? What are you not just think, what do you feel? What do you want to do? right? And when I say this to you and you're watching this, where do you feel it in your body? Because that is going to tell you exactly what it is that you're looking to do. And then you just need to get the plan in place. You just need to make a choice too, right? You need to choose to do it. That's half the battle, choosing it, because then you need to hold yourself accountable. Then you get a plan and you're getting the stability that you're looking for. This card is a celebration card because it wasn't easy to get here. You're under pressure here. You're under pressure from, I think, your surroundings. Um, I think maybe there's just a little bit maturity that needs to be had here. And by that, I mean just really focus. I think you're too scattered. I think there's no real set plan here as to what you want to do. My suggestion would be to break it down, see what it is that you would move a mountain for, and what would be something that you would sacrifice something else for. And by that, I mean just like, could be something as just as simple as, sleep for work, or eat. There's a trade-off to something, but just make sure that the trade-off is worth what you want. Otherwise, you won't do it. Okay? So you're being really asked to fill in the blank here as to what it is that you want to do, and then make a choice to do it, and then go. You'll absolutely be able to do it. I think you may just not know what it is, and I think you try a lot of different things, but you've got to break that down and get the long-term plan. Where do you see yourself in 3 years? I don't do the 5-year thing. I think it's too far out. 3 years will give you enough work to get it done, and 3 years you'll be able to find your anchor. So what is it in 3 years that you would work 3 years consistently for, right? It's got to be something, though. The key here is what would you move a mountain for? Otherwise, it's just a daydream, really. So I hope that helps you in some way. I see what you're trying to do. I think you may just not know. You're trying to branch out into something. I just don't think you know exactly what that is yet. So once you narrow your scope down, you'll be able to go. Okay? I hope that I helped you in some way. I know what's happening here, and I think you are too, but I think you need to get just more serious about it, and more take ownership of it, I guess, is where I'm going with that. Okay? I hope that I helped you in some way. This was a bit much, but your messages were kind of like a kick in the butt. Like you need to just narrow your plan, stop running around, and then just go for it, because it sits here for you. You've got divine guidance, 2 major cards in here for a month throw. That's pretty good. You're getting help here. So, and it's attainable. I see it's attainable. You just need to figure out what it is and then go for it. Okay? Okay. I hope that I helped you in some way. If you need further clarification or you need a private reading, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to do that for you. Okay? Thank you so much.